We are going to start our artist study for color. What we're trying to do, and keep this in mind when you're choosing your image, the painting that you're going to copy, is we're trying to practice mixing colors. Secondary colors, tertiary colors, and different values. So choose an image that is going to make you do that. So this image has lots and lots of different colors and lots of different values. Also choose an image that has a style that you like. And this one's more expressive and loose. And if you want to practice blending colors and making things more accurate, then choose an image like that. And I have lots of examples of images that work. So with this one, you would practice kind of blending, right, making smoother transitions. This one's quite realistic. A really good example. And this one you would practice kind of blending, which is going to be a little bit tougher. So just think about what it is you want to learn. Try to challenge yourself somewhat, but don't overwhelm yourself. Right? Find that balance. Now, normally, if we were doing this in school, we'd be using a grid. Right? So I would print the picture out for you. We would grid it up, and then we would grid up both the picture of what you want to paint, and we would grid up the paper, and that would help you draw very accurately. Now, we're not going to be able to do that while we're in distance learning, which is just fine. It just means that you're drawing, the shapes might be a little less accurate. So don't stress out about that. That will be very little, if anything, in your final grade. It's a skill you want to practice. Right? We use the same idea of seeing negative space, using your pencil as a tool. So all the things you did in observational drawing apply here. We're just simply observing the picture. Okay, so I would observe, say, the negative space between their knees to get the shape of the knees correct. So what we'll be doing instead is you'll probably be working from a digital image then. You can just look at it on your computer, which is just fine. So I'm just going to draw, instead of making an entire grid, I'm just going to split it in half both ways. I'm not being super precise, but I do want to give myself some guidelines. My paper is out of proportion, right? So I'm probably not going to get the whole picture in, which is fine. This is practice. Keep in mind the purpose of this is more about mixing colors and learning some painting techniques. And then using that, I can see that the shoulder goes below this line, almost to the edge, and then down. Now, I can see I've already kind of made a mistake. That shoulder should be a bit longer. Right? But we're not stressing about that. Right? We're going to get it about right. So it is possible, if you have your image, if you download it, let's see, just edit with photos, edit with paint, or open with. So there's all of these options. If I open it with photos, you can find one, edit and create, that gives you the option of drawing on here. And then you could put stuff in this area. A whole grid, but you could draw this marker. There we go. We could draw an approximation so we have some idea anyway that we know the head is in the top half. Right? We know this is halfway through our paper. The shoulders start right about there. This one curves a little bit down below. The left eye is higher than the right eye, and it's right next to the middle. So the right eye is a little to the right of the center. The nose is right in the center. The mouth is right in the center. So using that grid can help a little bit. And so I'm using a grid to get things approximately right. And then we have to get to the important part, and that's mixing colors. And the first thing you're going to do is start out with block colors. So we're not trying to get everything perfect right away. We'll be painting this in 2 layers. The first layer is our block layer. So you'll notice on the dress, the student just painted it in the background color. You'll notice here, even though there's lots of different values in here, they did just a simple kind of background, and then they'll go over it with a master layer. Keep in mind, you're not going to get the colors perfect. Right? We're using tempera paints. This artist might have used acrylics or oil paints. And they could have used any number of different things. Plus, it's going to look different on your computer as well. The screen will do things a little differently color-wise. So, but we can get it pretty close. Right, as close as we can. Now remember, with these dried temperas, we need to kind of put a lot of water in there. And since I'm going to be mixing a lot of paint, I'm really working up that yellow. I just want to get a whole bunch of yellow wet, so I don't have to spend as much time in the future rehydrating that yellow. So now I find my yellow. Look around here. It's yellow here, it's yellow here, and some of that might end up being in the background. Okay, that's fine. I'm just splotching that up. And then I have to decide what's next. So I'm going to mix this light brown since I have yellow. So to get brown, you're going to want yellow with some red. I've already got yellow and red in there. And then a small amount of blue. So for this particular light brown, I'm definitely not going to want a lot of blue. But I'm still mixing up a whole bunch right now because I'm hoping that saves me time later. I'm getting some blue on my palette, and then I will carefully add that in to that mixture, that kind of orange, the yellow and red. I'm worried that my brush, because I mixed the blue, is super loaded with blue, and I don't want to overdo it. Alright, so now I've got kind of a mustard color. We're not there yet. And I want to mix a lot of it, right? These temperas are, in their dried form, they're a little challenging to mix. And I can use that brown as a base to mix my other brown. Now I want to lighten it up too, so I need to get some light. I clean out my brush really well, work up that white. And again, work up a lot of it, and then mix that in with a little blue, and let's see if we get the color we want. Looks like we have a little too much blue in there. And that's going to happen. You're going to go over sometimes. Right? So let's find some red. Put that in there. Test it out. Scrap piece of paper. Actually, that looks similar to this here. So you might find, as you're trying to mix in one color, that you mix a different one that you might be able to use as well. Oh, yeah, I need some more red in there. That's quite a bit closer. Try it out. I think there's a touch too much red in there. So this is my block colors. So I'm gonna use that. It's close. If I'm not happy with it, I can layer it over there. So I get that kind of painted in fairly loosely. Where else do I see this color, right? Maybe here, maybe a little bit in the face. So figure out all the areas where I can start putting that. Now, instead of mixing a whole new color, I'm simply going to change the color that I've mixed. So now I'm going for, see, it looks like a deeper red, maybe this in the shoulder. I remember that. Okay. Oh, okay, I'm going for this kind of orangey brown, right? And I see that in a few different places. So let's start getting it in wherever we see it. And notice, at this point, your painting is not beautiful, right? You got to kind of have faith that it's going to get there. So if I do all the right things, if I put things in the right places, it's going to be beautiful. So again, you can see I'm changing the color. Now I'm making it quite a bit darker. I want to get some of these shadows in. So now I got to get a lot of blue in there. Mix them carefully. And even going the other way, so I take this and put it into the blue because I want that to be really dark. You have to be kind of have an experimental mind.